Hey everyone, welcome to Trading Capital's exclusive analysis. In this video, we're going to be doing a purely technical analysis based off of Alibaba's stock. We will also follow this video up with some key fundamentals that we think is important and likely going to yield more upside. Overall, Alibaba had a stunning breakout off of its earnings report. Notice the 82.17 million high volume breakout on the daily chart. Alibaba has triggered a couple different formations here that we're going to really discuss and dive deep into. So first things first, the fact that Alibaba made an epic daily chart breakout above this high pivot is signaling what? Alibaba has printed a higher high, and this is the first higher high for quite a long time, really since we were chopping around here in May. Not only did it print a daily higher high, but it printed a weekly higher high, and this chart is absolutely looking impressive. Before jumping into the patterns, we are going to discuss some of the stage and cycle analysis that Alibaba is going through, but let's look at what type of formation we have now triggered on the Alibaba chart. First things first, there is a mini inverse head and shoulders pattern that one can deduce, basically breaking out here. But that is not the real pattern that is at play for this overall chart, in my opinion. The bigger chart pattern that I want to bring to your attention is this inverse head and shoulders. Alibaba has triggered an epic, and I mean an epic breakout out of a very long-term inverse head and shoulders pattern. This type of an inverse head and shoulders simply gives us a monster upside target that still has quite a bit of room to run to the upside. Simply this inverse head and shoulders target, if it were to play out to the upside, would yield a move to around that $165 range. Now, that's the daily chart. Looking at the weekly chart, we have a really strong weekly chart bull flag formation that is trying to break out here. If you do a measured move from this high to this low, drop it forward, you can see it's right around that 160 target. So now you have an inverse head and shoulders that gives you roughly a move above 160. You have a potential bull flag pattern that gives you a move around 160. What is the monthly chart saying? But before we go to the monthly chart, we are going to show you some stage and basing formation analysis. Going back to the previous cycles of Alibaba, take a look at what has happened here on Alibaba. Alibaba went through this epic stage 1 basing formation. When the stage 1 basing formation broke out, which is what I think we're breaking out of today, and if we simply move this forward here, this stage 1 basing formation that Alibaba has really been in since we can put it down here, Alibaba just technically broke out of this longer term stage 1 basing formation. And if we follow previous cycles, when Alibaba broke out of the stage 1 basing formation here and entered the stage 2 formation, that stage 2 formation had roughly about a 94% move to the upside. If we extrapolate that forward, you can see just based off of using previous cycle analysis, completing a stage 2 formation high would put Alibaba roughly at around 211. So let's extrapolate that forward as well. If Alibaba completes this stage 2 basing formation, we're looking for a move to about 211, 213, give or take a little bit. Now, this is where things get really interesting because stage 3 often yields that blow off top move. So let's extrapolate that a little bit forward. Stage 3 basing formation ended up completing around a 50 to 54% move. If we were to complete a 54% move on the stage 3, that puts Alibaba roughly at a target of 300 plus. Now the question is, often we do see cycles repeat. So this is why cycle analysis is very, very powerful because we've often see historical price patterns unfold in very similar nature. Why is that? Because investor psychology and sentiment stays the same. So if Alibaba is breaking out of this stage 1 basing formation, you can see over the next couple years, there is potentially quite a lot of continuation upside momentum that could occur. But looking at this huge epic move, just to show you the sheer force and momentum that stage 2 can carry, really stage 2 completed the majority of its move within the first, I would say, 1/3 of the basing formation. So this is just shows you our markets can be hyperbolic. They move fast. When stocks gain momentum, they just continue to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. So that's what I'm looking for. Full disclosure, I have been positioned net long on Alibaba with my members. We gave the buy signal on Alibaba back here in early July, and it has been a wonderful, wonderful trade. I'm still holding call options kind of into your first and second quarter of 2026. So I still think, based off of this technical breakout that we're seeing, there's still quite a bit of upside. I've already trimmed 150% on my October 120 calls, which went deep in the money, but I am still riding 160 upside calls with my members. And I do think that Alibaba on a technical side is giving us a massive opportunity here. And the fundamentals are very, very interesting too, which I will follow up with a secondary video. If you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a like down below. Looking at the monthly chart of Alibaba, we are now going to throw in some key monthly moving averages. So we have the 7, the 20, the 50, the 200, and the EMA 113. What I love about the monthly chart of Alibaba, okay, you had your monthly breakout candle here on volume. Everyone can see that back in February. And then Alibaba went through a multi-month consolidation, and they actually tried breaking and knifing you through that monthly volume candle on heavy sell side volume, but price action was defended. The fact that they defended price off of this monthly candle here is a very bullish sign. I think that Alibaba is going to continue to surge off of this monthly chart, and this monthly chart is looking very bullish. Monthly close above this high pivot here, the chances of us having a beautiful momentum squeeze and continuation into the stage 2 basing formation could be very, very likely. So right now, I think Alibaba is into a area where dips are likely going to be bought. I think that even if you're not net long, there's a very strong chance that BABA is going to continue to outperform over the next 12 to 24 months. And the fundamentals kind of align with the technical picture. When you get the technicals and the fundamentals aligning, it creates a recipe for success. Please give this video a like down below, and we'll see you on the charts a little bit later.